In this video, we will begin to talk about the CAM or computer-aided manufacturing side of Easel, specifically bits and material settings. This is where we begin to bridge the gap from digital to physical. Here, we set all the intentions for carving our design. First, we will talk about bit selection. By default, Easel will set new project bits at a 1/8 inch sized bit. Any defaults set by Easel can be changed. You can find a link in the video description that talks about how to change those defaults. We can change the set bit by clicking the bit box in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. This will populate a drop-down menu where you can select bits that have been added to your toolbox. You can add new bits to the toolbox via the top of the bit options drop-down menu. This will bring you into the toolbox where you can add more bits to your Easel account. To the right of the bit selection is a plus sign. Click on this allows you to add a second bit to your carve. You will be given the option of an outline or detail bit. Adding a second bit can help with carving time or allow for more control over the carve in general. To the left of the bit selection is the material selection. By default, new projects in Easel are set to birch plywood as the material. By clicking on the material option, a drop-down window will open. At the top of the window, you will see an option to add materials. Clicking on this will take you to the toolbox and allow you to add materials. Below that is a drop-down for selecting the type of material. It is important to use the correct material since Easel's default cut settings are material dependent. Below the material selection are three sets of options. The first is boxes to input the dimensions of your material. Easel will update the canvas to match these dimensions. Another option is the ability to enable tiling. This feature allows you to break designs into smaller sections along the y-axis and then carve them in sequence. This is useful if you intend to carve long pieces of material. Tiling is a more advanced Easel feature. We would recommend getting a few carves under your belt before trying to tile. There is more information on tiling in the links below. The last option is a small drop-down for choosing your work zero. Changing the work zero changes the carve start point in Easel. There are two options, front left corner or center. Changing the work zero can be helpful for specific carves. For example, starting from the center of a carve is helpful when carving material that is circular. There are a few ways Easel responds to changing bit and material settings. First, when you change your material, the 3D preview will update to more closely match the visual of the material you have selected. Another thing to note is that when selecting the bit, it's important to keep in mind how the size of the design and size of the bit determines what Easel carves. In this design, there is text and a design. On the canvas, we can see both clearly. On the 3D preview, we can see some of the text, but none of the design. If the design is made bigger, we can see it shows fully in the 3D preview. If we change the bit, we can see that the text now becomes visible as well. If the whole design is visible in the 3D preview, it will carve correctly. If the 3D preview does not show the whole design, it means that there is a discrepancy between the design and the bit size. We can visualize these uncut areas in the 3D preview by clicking on the three dots in the lower right-hand corner and checking the Uncut Areas box. Any part of the design that will remain uncut will show in red. Finally, if you adjust the depth in the design, the 3D preview will update to show that depth adjustment. If you have questions about bits, bit types, materials, bit and material pairings, or adding tools to the toolbox, check out the linked resources below. Join us for the next video where we will cover cut settings and toolpath.